I don't know if it was legal to take pictures of pregnant women in 1963.
That's
Why
true.
would not have been? They had baby showers and meatballs and rotel dip.
You don't see a lot of pregnant ladies from the 60s. That was like a sin, probably.
Socially, it was kind of taboo.
Yeah. Lyndon B. Johnson wasn't having that for a while.
Yeah, he was like, it'll turn your baby dark.
We just let y'all vote. Pregnant in public, too? No.
Are you out of your goddamn mind? You don't cover that belly.
Chocolate candy, sweet as gold. Let me see that Tootsie Roll. Welcome to another brand new episode of My Mama Told Me,
the podcast where we dive deep into the pockets of Black conspiracy theories.
And we finally work to prove that the little prayer she said for me in that iconic song was in fact the hustler's prayer. Aretha's been thugging this whole time. I'm David Corey.
Damn, I'm Langston Kerman, and it doesn't surprise me to hear that Aretha was a lady of the streets, and not in the whole way.
Not in the whole way.
Not in the whole way. She was getting money. She was out
thugging
there. She was out there making sure her shit was moving the way it was supposed to be moving.
And that's what I appreciate about her.
That's the only thing I appreciate about her.
Don't do that. Don't come on. Don't do that right now.
It's the only thing I care about is that Aretha was a drug dealer. I don't give a fuck about the music. Her passion for drugs is where I care.
I hate this about you. You need some centralized deity in your life because you're going off the rails, to be completely honest.
Buddy, if I could fully commit to devil worship, I would.
That's what I worry. And I
would in a second. But I can't because of all the Christian whatever that was built in me through childhood. But if I could, woo!
I mean, on paper, the devil is like a more dynamic individual.
That's just somebody you want to root for, man.
Yeah, it's just like bootstraps. He pulled himself up by his bootstraps. You know what I mean?
Our guest today doesn't seem sold on the devil quite yet, but we'll get her there. I think by the end of the episode, we all feel comfortable saying we'll have you fully invested in the devil. That is our promise to you and the listeners at home. She's wonderful. She is a hilarious comedian, an actress, a digital creator of all kinds. You know her from her own podcast called The Joke's on You. Please give it up for Mel Mitchell.
Hi, guys. Yeah, I was trying to be quiet until my introduction on the devil.
Oh, you can weigh in on the devil anytime. That's part of why the devil's so cool. Ain't no rules over here.
Yeah, and that's what scares me. He don't have no limits to what he be doing, and that's why I can't fool with the devil like that, because you just be deviling and it'd be too hot down there, and I sweat bad, so I don't want to go to hell.
No, I feel
that's fair.
Do you think heaven is cold though?
I think heaven is like a smooth, like 73 degrees.
73?
73 is not too hot. It's not too cold. You're good.
Yeah.
The wind not blowing too crazy because you're in heaven, you're above the wind. So it's not cold.
Right. So it's like, really, you could wear that long sleeve, but you could wear a t-shirt if you want.
If you feel like wearing a hoodie, that's fine. You can wear shorts, Crocs.
I like that.
It's a nice weather neutral. It's like I don't know, Miami in December.
Oh, I was going to say May in Oakland, but that's a good one as well.
Okay.
There.
Now, okay, that all sounds cool, but in hell, you get to put two Krispy Kremes on top of your Whopper, and then you bite into that, and yeah, it hurts. But
someone get this jigaboo away from me.
Imagine being musty forever. That's not fun to me.
And that's Langston's biggest fear.
Being musty is my biggest fear. That seems like a genuine nightmare that I don't want to relive from, musty ass childhood days.
Wait, were you a musty child?
I probably had like 6 months where it wasn't doing too good.
Wow, you're so bright. What happened?
That's a long time.
Yeah, I think you don't fully have somebody like sitting you down and being like deodorant. You got to start and you can let some shit ride not knowing. And I think I had a lot of not knowing.
What grade was this?
It had to be junior high.
This was 6th to 7th. It was somewhere.
So you weren't wearing deodorant till 7th grade.
Yeah, I don't like the way you're asking. It feels hateful. There's a bite to it that I don't care for.
From a place of jealousy, because I remember the first day I got musty. And my mother immediately was like, Tussie, it's for you. And I was in like kindergarten or first grade.
Whoa.
And I've been wearing deodorant since. I'm a sweaty bitch.
This is major because we've been talking about Tussie. So
you guys have? Really?
Yeah, this has come up. This is recurring.
This is black girl lore. You get that Tussie around 6 or 7.
Wow.
So Tussie is the starter deodorant.
That's your starter deodorant. You start with Tussie and then you graduate to Secret. And then by middle to high school, you start on Dove. And then after that, Lady Speed Stick. And then now I'm using spray deodorant like my mom was back in the day.
Wow.
Okay. Secret.
A powerful journey. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Secret is pH balanced for a man. I've used Secret and done fine.
That was always the rumor when I was a kid, was that Secret was in fact a better deodorant, that like men should be using it.
No, literally. I used to date a guy who would use women's deodorant.
Yeah. You had to be a real secure dude to pull that shit.
No, you don't. You just have to be poor. Shout out to all the real ones who I got away with waking up and getting down before I hit the bus stop.
No. I'm not talking about that version of the game. I'm talking about the type of motherfucker that truly is just like, no, I'm going to buy Secret. I'm not talking, and also I'm not talking about today. Of course, today I don't give a fuck. I'll put on whatever deodorant is in front of me because we've broken down all those gender rules and fucking sexuality barriers that we created.
If I bought you a jar of Tussie today,
I'm not putting on Tussie because that's poor people's shit.
Yeah, I think Tussie not for grown people sweat. Tussie is for playground mustiness.
It's in a super glue jar. I'm not
mine was regular. It wasn't the dip. It wasn't like the.
Oh, you didn't scoop it.
Oh, you didn't scoop it.
It wasn't the scoop. No, it was the regular stick.
Oh, okay.
We had that kind of technology when I was 5.
I got you.
I'm a little young.
That's fair.
Okay. Well, the Tussie that Bori is referring to is the scoop out of a barrel.
Oh, I know.
Put underneath your arms. And
also, don't let if you're listening, don't let Langston discourage you. Shout out to all of you beautiful women out there dipping in the Tussie tub. I see you. I love you. I appreciate you.
Do they still sell it in the tub? Let me look it up.
Even if they do, if you're still dipping and putting it on your armpits, you're gonna die of radiation poisoning in weeks. He doesn't love
Amazon.
you.
$6 for some Tussie?
Can't afford
for a
not
jug.
To. Can't afford not to.
This is $6 is nuts.
That's not a deodorant price. Deodorant's so expensive.
Yeah, no, deodorant. It's pure aluminum. Why is that so cheap?
Yeah, that's why they lock it up at the Walgreens.
Mel, you didn't come here to talk about Tussie, but this is the nature of the podcast. So you're playing exactly the way that we play over here. But you came to us with a conspiracy theory that I had never heard before. Bori, had this crossed your threshold before this?
I had not, but I'm excited to get into it.
Okay, it wasn't familiar to either of us, but we're both, I'd say, very excited about this one. But you said, my mama told me.
Teresa Graves is the biological mother of Whitney Houston.
Yes.
Tell me everything you know.
Yeah, we got to get in.
I haven't fully gone down the rabbit hole, but as you know, information is transferred in 2023. If you see it on TikTok, it's true. So I saw it on TikTok. I believe it. And now it is my life's work to take this with me for the rest of my life. I saw one singular TikTok, didn't even watch the whole thing. I saw it. I said, yep, this is a fact. And that's all I needed. Honestly, it sounded about right. It was a lady. And it had a video of her talking. It was a lady. She was talking. She sounded like Nippy. She was pretty like Nippy. I said, checks out.
Yeah.
I didn't need anything else. I didn't need any more convincing. And when you dig deeper into Whitney Houston's estate and how things have progressed in the 12 years after her passing and the passing of Bobby Christina, which were both very traumatic. I cried at both of their deaths. Not only cry at celebrity deaths, those really hit me hard, especially Bobby Christina dying the exact same way. And the way that her
it wasn't
family was
great.
handled, it wasn't great.
That was a tough.
And then it was so long and drawn out and just heartbreaking because she was in a coma for like 3 or 4 months before she passed. And it was just like, and that Nick, what's his face? Is going to hell. Now he's going to be musty in hell forever because he did it. What's his name? What's the boy name?
Wait. Well, say Nick Cannon. He ain't a bad guy. I think we got to give him a shot.
What was his name? Nick Gordon. Nick Gordon is going to hell.
You think he did it?
I think I don't know if he did it. He did something because ain't no way
he wasn't treating her good.
He was in there getting high with her though.
He had something to do with both of them, allegedly to me.
Damn, with both of them?
To me.
Okay.
I think in my brain. I think he had something to do with it. And I will make sure he goes to hell. I don't know how.
No.
But I'm going to see to it. But that's neither here nor there.
Come on over here on the devil's side and I'll tell you how. I give you the secrets.
Put in a good word for Nick Gordon for me because until he do right by the Whitney Houston. But anyway, just the way her estate handles her affairs and has handled her affairs in her passing and just like the reality show and her money and the holograms being weird. Is it like her hologram supposed to be going on tour or some shit? I'm just like, in all the different Whitney documentaries and biopics, Whitney was hurting. They wouldn't let Whitney be herself.
Right.
Whitney couldn't be. If they would have just let Whitney be gay, Whitney would still be here.
I've said that for years.
And I'm like, why they do her so wrong? And now that I see that wasn't even her mammy for real. So they've been punishing her because they adopted her. So when I saw this as her real mom, I said, makes sense. Boom. Okay. They ain't doing right by Whitney in life or death.
Bori, I feel like you have some looming questions and thoughts.
I just wonder sometimes because it's like, initially when I read this, I was like, yeah, she didn't seem like the rest of them, right? She seemed like maybe more of a wild spirit than the rest of the family. But then I look at her brother, who was also wildin', and then I'm like, but they seemed like two peas in a pod, kind of. And then it makes me come back to like, maybe they were just like strange offshoots of that family tree.
When you say wildin', was her brother smoking crack wildin'?
Yes, at Langston. You gonna make me say everything now?
Yeah, no, I think we need to be specific because
he was getting high.
Well, the story is allegedly that Bobby didn't introduce Whitney to coke and crack. It was her brother.
Yeah.
And granted, Bobby was separately doing crack and coke himself when he was in New Edition. He was wilding separately.
Right.
And then they wild together.
But I do love the idea of them smoking crack in separate rooms, trying to hide it from each other. And then one day they just, both their pipes fell out and they're like, oh, you do it too.
And that's how they bonded over it. I don't think one influenced the other.
On a side note, if you saw I Gotta Be Me, they actually claim that Bobby kind of couldn't party like that compared to Whitney and her brother. So I've always thought that Bobby is just more ADHD than he is a guy who likes coke.
I think there's
like
so
he's just
many
hyperactive,
different iterations and story. There are like at least 3 or 4 Whitney biopics. It's the one that was with Yaya. And then we had the Bobby biopic that had Woody in it. And then there was one that just came out. And then it's like 3 or 4 documentaries. And they all, it's like somebody got to be lying. I don't know.
Yeah.
I think for me, what I personally believe is that, we had the New Edition movie with Bobby's story. Bobby was wilding when he was still in the group.
Yeah.
Him and Whitney didn't get together till he was out of the group. And then Whitney was probably wilding with her brother. And then they probably, bonded through that and their different traumas that led them up to doing it together. I don't think Bobby introduced Whitney to crack. I don't think Whitney introduced Bobby to crack. I think they both kind of had their own
met crack separately and then made crack part of their joint
I think
journey.
that's how they got on drugs together by maybe that's how me and, niggas I date like watching Marvel movies. They might like doing drugs.
Much similar end that will lead to.
Yeah, they ending great.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's I love Whitney Houston, so I have to make it make sense to me, and this makes sense to me.
Okay, so you hear this half a TikTok video. You do zero other research.
None.
But
you see how he does that though? How he says it like
I'm
that?
merely recapping what's
no
being
shame
told
in my
to
game.
us.
I believe it.
When did you turn on me so much Boy,
I didn't.
when did you become my arch nemesis? We're supposed to be in this
I'm
shit
not
together.
your nemesis. I am your champion.
I doubt that very much, sir.
It's only the villainous thing. That's the only thing I'm against you on. Otherwise, we're in this together.
That's the core of my personality, and you know it.
We got a business to run.
Now, so it sounds like in not needing, or rather not doing the research, what you are saying is you don't need to do the research, because part of what Whitney is picking the journey that sort of gets you to the person you love. That it's like you follow whatever path you need that gets you to the end stop, Whitney Houston glorified hero that you see her as.
Sure.
All right. And so with that, I guess I'm wondering, do you feel like this is something we all need to be believing, that we all need to be seeing Whitney as the biological daughter of this other woman and not, in fact, her mother?
I think we need to be looking into her family and her estate, period, because they've been moving funny since February 11, 2012. I don't like what they got going on over there. And we need to watch them.
Okay. Here's my question. Who do you think is controlling the estate right now?
Ain't it Pat? I think it's Pat.
And you feel like he's controlling it funny because there's no respect, because it's not actual family.
I feel like when you get to unpacking, that's what you gonna unpack. Pat Houston is a lady, isn't it? Yeah, Pat Houston is the sister-in-law.
Okay.
But anytime it's some fuck shit with Whitney and her estate, I hear the name Pat Houston. I'm like, well, who was Pat?
Yeah.
I had to look it up. Pat Houston is a girl. But,
I like that you hadn't looked it up before this, but you were like, I need to look up Pat.
No.
You see it though.
At some point, I'm gonna look up Pat, and I'm gonna accuse Pat of some pretty fucked up shit.
In order to believe, it's like religion. You have to have faith in your conspiracies. You don't need all the proof in the world. You don't need the right documentation. You just gotta believe without the shadow of a doubt that it's lizards living under New York City. You just gotta believe it.
All you need is faith and grace.
You just need this much proof, and that's all.
Size of a mustard seed, I'd say.
Hello? Just this. That's all you need. And I believe it.
So you believe this. Does this then make you invest in Teresa Graves? Are you a Teresa Graves expert at this point, or were you already a big fan of Teresa Graves?
I have never heard of that lady a day in my life.
Okay, I was going to say, because
I saw the 46 seconds of that TikTok and ran it. And I didn't need anything else, because again, what TikTok is where we don't need encyclopedias anymore. Google, pish posh. All I need is a good TikTok with a compelling first 12 seconds to hook me in. And then I watch the rest of it and I'm like, sold.
Yeah.
Sold.
I do not agree with this.
You don't believe in the TikTok selling of it all.
I'm not on board with the first 12 seconds of anything.
If I'm hooked to the TikTok and no one's getting hurt, this is not something I'm like not being like anti-vax or like, I don't know.
No, not at all.
This is fun. I'm not hurting anybody by thinking Teresa Graves is Whitney Houston's real mama.
Well, Whitney's real mother is alive. I think this probably hurts pretty bad every time she goes on TikTok.
Do you think Sissy Houston is on TikTok?
I think somebody in her life has shown her these videos. What else does she have going on?
Would you show her those videos if that was your auntie?
No, but
that's what I'm saying.
There's a piece of shit in her family that would.
Right. Maybe that's fair.
We all got somebody in our family that'd be like, "Hey, sissy, you see what they saying about you, right?"
Right. That's a good point.
And she don't know how none of this works. So now all of a sudden there's these high definition videos showing how gruesomely ugly she is compared to these two other women. You know what I mean? Like, it's crazy.
You think Sissy Houston's gruesomely ugly?
No, compared to the other two, though.
Okay. I got to do a side-by-side. Hold on.
Yeah.
I see what you're saying.
It's going to hurt her.
Okay, yeah, you don't want that.
That's going to hurt her feelings, man.
Yeah, Teresa Graves really lights up a picture.
Yeah, she's just fucking gorgeous. That's unbelievable. I never even heard of this lady before today. And I was just sitting on. I was like, "Oh, who's that lady?" And then it was like they were like, "You obviously know her from this and this." I was like, "I don't know none of this shit."
No,
but that's a baddie.
I know she fine as hell.
I know she fine. I know Whitney fine.
But the video of her talking and she sounds just like Whitney. I don't know, man.
Like her speech, like just her talking voice sounds just like
you know
Whitney.
how Whitney talks like this.
Yeah.
And she was talking. And I was like, that sounds like Whitney.
Yeah.
And I was like, I'm
Whitney's
sold.
It's real breathy. It's real breathy when Whitney was
real breathy. Yeah.
Yeah.
And you can, like, she talks like she can sing. You can, sometimes you can tell when people can sing because of the way they talk. She's one of those people.
Yeah. So, Bori, where are you with this?
I'm up for it.
You're down to clown.
I was not like anti it coming in, so yeah, I'm open to it.
Were you a Teresa Graves fan before today?
Not at all. I've always been a Whitney Houston fan. I don't even know what was Teresa Graves. She was on like the fucking Good Times spinoff or some shit.
No.
I actually don't know who that young lady is.
She was an actress who also sang. I guess she, singer, but as far as I can tell, none of them were like major hits. But she was an actress in the 70s who kind of made it big as the first Black lady to lead like a drama series. Like she was like, until apparently Kerry Washington, she was the first.
Really?
And then there was like a long space.
Nobody else won.
Nah, they were like, we
had to sit through Ally McBeal, and they couldn't have given us one fucking Maxine Shaw, attorney at law, fucking spinoff show.
See, this is why you can't look up your conspiracies, because then it starts getting shaky. Because now that I'm looking at pictures, I'm believing it less. See, you guys ruined this for me. It's like telling me Santa isn't real. I've been living perfectly for the past month and a half thinking this is her real mama. But she would have to be 15 when she gave birth to her.
That happens every day.
That does happen, but does it?
Back then?
When she was... And then this picture of her when she got older, she don't look nothing like Whitney.
What's Whitney's dad look like? That's who
I knew you were going to ask that. And I'm right here with you.
Yeah.
She got her daddy nose.
Yeah. He looks, let me see him again.
Here's where both her parents.
Let me see him. I don't know. He looks like he could be cheating. He's not even looking. He's looking away from the camera. You see how he's
looking up to the side?
That's not a trustworthy man.
Hey, y'all. Any black man that does this with his hair, gives you one of these bad boys,
hey.
He's gonna
He brushed his hair back like Matilda daddy. I don't trust it.
He get 2 scoops of pomade and hit like that. Nah, that nigga's about to cheat on you.
Yeah, he got a second family in Pittsburgh.
Yeah, he's smirking on this one. He knows something.
Because he knows.
Like, shit, I'm about to cheat as soon as this picture finishes.
He sees Teresa across the room.
He's like, that bitch Teresa Graves? Excuse me, baby. I'll be right back.
But back in the day, when your husband had an outside baby, you shut your ass up and you raised it. Like fences.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Right.
Which ended beautifully. We all love the ending of that story.
That because the nigga died.
That doesn't get sad for anyone.
That poor outside baby. Your mama died at birth, then your raggedy daddy died, and now you left with
the lady that didn't really want you, and
your brother ain't been home in 8 years.
Brother who had to go off to war just to make peace with the abuse he was facing down at home.
Then the daddy from Lincoln Heights is your brother, but he old enough to be your granddaddy.
And
then Uncle George. Uncle George yelling in the street. It's just too much going on.
There's a lot going on.
It was too sad for me.
I watched it like 3 times and I couldn't believe I did that.
I saw it in theaters and it was on Tubi the other week or like a month ago. I don't know how long it's been.
Whoa, Tubi has legitimate films too?
Tubi is a streaming platform. It has the ghetto Detroit movies, but it also just has really good movies on there. If you just let it play, it'll be like play movies on shuffle. I love Tubi.
Does it have The Preacher's Wife? Because I haven't been able to find that anywhere.
The Preacher's Wife should be streaming. Let me see.
I guess this isn't a podcast conversation. I was thinking about it.
No, I hope you do find it. I hope you find the Preacher's Wife.
If you just Google watch and then the name of the movie, it'll show you where it is on Tubi, actually. Look.
It's on Tubi. Okay.
It's on Tubi. And it's free. Right. Tubi's free. You get a little ad. But
how much ad?
It's not like over addy like Hulu.
It's like 7 minutes of ads, and then you get to watch The Preacher's Wife.
They try to sell you a gallon of
make
Tussie.
sacrifices.
It's 6 Tussie commercials in a row.
And it's a period piece, so they have time appropriate, advertisements. It's fun. Tubi's the best.
Well, this commercial for Tubi is going to take a break. We need to take a break, and when we get back, we're going to talk more about this Whitney Houston conspiracy, and we're going to take a break. We'll be back with more Mel Mitchell and more My Mama Told Me.
We're back. We're back. Sponsored by Tubi and Tussie. This is the TNT Comedy Variety Hour. We are back with Mel Mitchell discussing whether or not Teresa Graves was Whitney Houston's real mother. Langston, I believe you have some research for us.
I did a little bit of research, and again, I mentioned earlier it was mostly just watching YouTube videos, but I finished mine. I went all the way to the end of mine. I'm not just going to turn it off.
Than me.
That's my dog.
I'm not saying it, but I am saying that I'm one of the finest researchers that this podcast has ever seen.
That insinuates that I'm the only other one.
You've never done a single day of research.
Not a lick.
Ever. So I would say I'm pretty good for who's here as far as... But what is fascinating, you already pointed this out, is that the theory is that John Houston, Whitney's daddy, has an affair with this young girl, Teresa Graves, and then ultimately tells his wife, you will raise this new child as our child because the other girl is a child. She's a baby.
She's 15.
She's 15. She should not be having a child, and this is embarrassing for
How
us.
old are the Houstons at this point?
He's in his 40s.
God damn!
Yeah, no, it's not this ain't a 23-year-old.
Fuck.
You know what I mean? He wasn't like picking up his little sister and she was cute.
Yeah.
No,
he was like, I used to play varsity last year. I thought
he was born in 1920.
God damn. Yeah. This nigga was a flapper.
1920.
He was playing the numbers, baby. My boy said, I got to have it.
Yeah. I need that ragtime gal.
He is going. Oh, he's mustying it up right now. If this is true.
If this is true.
Jonathan.
Which it could very well not be. It could. I'm 50-50.
And Sissy was born in 1933.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So
Whitney was born in 1963.
So he was 7 years older than Whitney's mom. She's 63. Yeah, I believe.
No, he's 13 years older than Whitney's mom.
Oh, right. You said 30? Yeah. Oh, I thought she was
She was born in 1933. The daddy's born in 1920. Whitney was born in 1963. So the mom was only 30 when she was conceived.
Okay. So, still a problem with the 15-year-old though.
Yeah.
Still, the 15 is not. We need to get some police.
It's not.
I didn't think the math was gonna work, but now this makes
and
sense.
Also, in all likelihood, if Whitney, what month is Whitney born in? Do we know what month?
August 9th.
Yeah, if she was born in August, then that girl was 14 when they were fucking around. I wouldn't know.
We don't know when they started.
That's what I mean. Like he.
So the implications are very, 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 very dangerous.
Well, you brought it here.
Yeah.
I hadn't done this much research. I saw the TikTok. I said, yup. And then that was it. And here we are. And now that this is now an episode of SVU.
Beyond that,
this has happened.
What people already point out is sort of like the physical similarities between Whitney Houston and Teresa Graves. The nose, the eyebrow shape they point to. Obviously, they're very thin frames. They both have a propensity for singing, even though her mother also was a very successful singer. Her the mother that raised her, whether it's her biological
The
one or
mother that
not.
stepped up. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the mother that stepped up.
I'm the dad that stayed.
But yeah, so they do point to the similarities both in their voices and their appearances and in just the way that they carried themselves. They often point to as well. I guess the question is, how much of this feels like it just is TikTok discovering a new lady and being like, well, I like that lady better than I like the other version of this story. Because none of us knew who Teresa Graves was.
Right.
So is this us just being like, when you find like a new like Instagram lady, you're like, that's the baddest lady that's ever been bad. And I ain't never seen no ladies finer than that. And it's like, no, probably not true. You just discovered a new lady that didn't exist.
I feel like I need to know more about John Huston Jr. as well. Because he's the one who did it. So we got to know where he was moving. Like, was he involved in the business?
He was a manager.
He was her manager initially.
He was the mother's manager. And so there's an argument that people have been making that he discovered Teresa Graves, discovered her at a young age because she was a singer. She's an actress. She's a person trying to seek fame. This manager discovers her, gets her pregnant, takes the baby, hands it off to his already successful wife, gives us Whitney Houston.
Is Teresa from New Jersey like that?
Teresa Graves, I don't remember where she's from. Let's look that up.
Okay, let's do it. Homework.
Houston, Texas is where she's from, and then she ends up in Inglewood.
See, and that because they are like a New Jersey ass family, right? Like Whitney grew up in New Jersey, like they were in Jersey, right?
Newark.
Mm-hmm.
So like that also makes me feel like maybe that makes me feel less on board that Teresa Graves was not. Because if it was like, and I hate even building this narrative, but if it was like a neighborhood kid and he was like, oh, I've been seeing you, but it's just a little girl from Houston. Like, how did he discover a little girl from Houston?
Well, when did Teresa Graves blow up?
She blew up in the 70s, I think, is when they point to for like the success of her career. So like, throughout the 70s.
I do.
Okay, because Whitney was born in 63. Whitney was born way earlier.
Here's what I'll say, and maybe this will restore your faith or at least keep the ball in the air a little bit. I will say that if I needed to drop off a baby from a different place, it's much easier to do that in a different city than it is to do it in your neighborhood. Do you know what I mean? Like, if you want to keep this private and you want this to not turn into like a public embarrassing thing, it's better for me, a nigga in New Jersey, to go to Houston, take this baby away from these country ass poor people and then bring the baby back to fucking, you know what I mean? Like, to New Jersey where we can keep this private and to ourselves.
So for a few things, here we are. I think of if they had their own like Motown operation, because Whitney is like a Nepo baby, low key.
Right.
Because you got Dionne Warwick as her cousin or auntie, one of them. But like that whole family been singing. So even if she couldn't sing from birth, she had the singing cultivation growing up. So they had a New Jersey Motown. I think of like Tammy Terrell, who also was a young girl in that whole music business who was done totally wrong. So it is a possibility that Teresa Graves was kind of like a Tammy Terrell. I don't know the level of abuse, but clearly there was some sexual abuse going on because she's 15 and she's pregnant, allegedly. So that is a possibility. And also it's the 60s. So anything was happening back then. And you're right. It's, it's one thing to have a family across town, but to have a family in Houston, you can probably get around that a little easier. But then if it's a family in Houston, why bring that baby to New Jersey?
That's what I'm saying.
Well, here's the thing, is that at the time they say that Whitney Houston was conceived, quote unquote conceived, her mother was on tour. And so there is the argument that while on tour, he's managing her mother. He's sort of like playing his responsibility.
And they stop in Houston.
They make a quick stop in Houston, knock a baby up, and then 9 months later.
With a teenager.
was a teenager, but hey, that's not how he saw it. He didn't give a fuck.
Clearly.
He gets this baby 9 months later and brings it back to where they reside. It's a complete disconnect from a relationship with Houston is the point.
Also, having been to Houston, it does feel like a place where you would fuck around and get a side kid. It's just like, that's the vibe of that town. I think we can all agree with that.
Yeah, I think so.
I'm currently looking up photographs of Sissy Houston pregnant.
Okay.
Well,
but there's multiple. She's pregnant with multiple. It wasn't just Whitney.
I need to see a picture of her pregnant in 1963.
But to your point, it does seem like maybe there's a world where a dude who's just sort of in motion fucking around might mess up and have a kid and then have to take on a new kind of responsibility with that child.
My question is also, how did she even get to him? If it was the 60s and he was a slick manager from New Jersey and she was just a little bumpkin from Houston, how'd she even find him?
He was 42 when she was conceived. 42, 14.
But here's what I'll say. This is also the era where like niggas were doing talent show at the mall. You know what I mean? Like I think it was a much more.
This is like Dream Girls time. Think Jimmy Early and Laurel. Because they were only like 16.
Yeah. She was.
But that's what I mean. It was just like you could truly just find talent on the streets because people were eagerly showing their wants. Whereas now you just do it on fucking TikTok, Instagram,
and
whatever.
now you have a record deal.
Yeah, it's a different game. But you used to do it at the neighborhood fucking rec spot. You know what I mean? Right. And then a manager would show up and he'd be like, I like your locals. I like what that little boy doing.
My name's John Houston Jr.
Well, no, if she has multiple brothers and sisters, then clearly she wasn't barren. So I'm thinking like, what if she couldn't have kids and they stole the baby?
To give to her. See, I like that, but no, there's like she has
brothers.
Yeah, she wasn't.
But what if is she the only girl? Because what if she just wanted a girl?
I think she's the only girl. Yes.
Let's just allegedly to everything I'm saying because I can't afford to get sued. I'm just
no. Listen, the lawsuit has been stacking since the moment you started this shit, and frankly,
I didn't make it up.
As soon as we turn this off, you're your own responsibility. This podcast will not take on any of the weight of the lawsuits heading your way. That said, one of the other things. Oh, you farted.
No, it is my chair against the closet. Please.
You're getting sued and you're farting by yourself. These are facts, Mel. One of the other things that I wanted to look up was a little bit more about Teresa Graves. And one of the things that they point out is that I mentioned before, she sort of becomes like the first Black lady to take on a lead role in a drama series. This was an offshoot of a movie, I guess, that they shot of the same name. I think it's called like What About Chrissy or some shit. I don't know. Sure. I didn't watch the shit, but she was very successful in this show. Does a few other projects, but then walks away from the industry, they say around the time of Whitney Houston sort of becoming more of like a rising figure, right? That like as Whitney starts to build notoriety, she sort of takes a step back from the industry. Now, what they point to as the cause of this is she becomes a Jehovah's Witness. She basically like fully dedicates herself to the ways of Jehovah and walks away from entertainment under the basic presumption that this is like work of the devil and I need to get back to, my religious roots.
Been there.
Somehow Joe Jackson has something to do with this. I don't know how.
I didn't want to say it because I felt crazy. It feels like there's a Jackson hand.
Joe Jackson is somewhere in here. I don't know how.
Damn.
Yeah,
with something to do
with that weird ass face he's got, just looking over.
Because Joe Jackson has an outside child.
Yeah, sure.
I don't think he has any inside children.
Yeah, that nigga died looking like a kitty cat. I know he's got kids everywhere.
But even watching the Jacksons, 5 American Dream movie, He was following Catherine home from school. You coming back from the war and following this girl from school.
I do think there's a world where if I'm fucking John Huston, I can't get my young bride, child, concubine, whatever the fuck you want to call it, in line, I might need some advice. Who am I going to call but Joe Jackson?
Well, they weren't a thing in 1963 though.
The Jacksons?
The Jacksons didn't blow up to like the late. Yeah, because Mike was born in 1958.
Yeah,
but I'm a thing yet.
But I'm saying that I don't think Joe was a part of. I don't think Joe was a part of the conception. I think Joe was like advice he sought down the line when things started to become more complicated. He fucked the kid when he fucked the kid. He's that type of person. Joe gets involved when he needs a little help managing.
Maybe they had like a terrible nigga convention, and then he ran into Joe Jackson, and Joe was like, I have a particular set of skills. And then he helped him out.
He's like, excuse me, Joe, I just want to say, as a scumbag to a scumbag, I really love your work, man.
Love your work.
You did a bang up job, literally. Wow. This is
long time, first time. I've been listening for years.
I gotta say, I have seen the welts on some of your boys' backs, and that is...
Wow, the abuse that you have put your children through.
That is phenomenal work.
I'm somewhat of a predator myself.
Yeah, if I could break my daughter down halfway as bad as you broke down Tito.
Joe, I just want to say, man, if I could get my daughter to change the color of her skin, if I could beat her senseless the way you've beat your boys,
hats off to you, man. Oof. So yeah, maybe like they were all there having like a brotherhood smoke of terribleness, and he gave him some tips. But now I got to go down one of my rabbit holes to like figure this out because I want the best for my conspiracy.
Here's the other part of the conspiracy that gets a little weird is that Teresa Graves, she becomes this Jehovah's Witness. She dies at 54. She doesn't make it very old, in part because she is like become a bit of like a recluse. She doesn't really interact with any version of the industry at all. She just like lives in her neighborhood, doesn't want anybody around her to know that she's like a famous person in any sort of way, just wants to live by herself, praising the God above her. And she is taking care of her sick mother. She lives in a house with her. And then the mother is at the hospital one day and a space heater starts a fire in the house. And it kills Teresa Graves. Teresa Graves dies of smoke inhalation and burning.
Wait.
Do her and her mother pass?
No, her mother's in the hospital at the time. She's just in the house alone.
Was she asleep?
And that's where it gets a little gray, is nobody is like definitively saying what she was doing at the time. I think they imply that she was sleeping, but it's not 100% clear. It's more that like she just, fire happened. She can't get out. She's trapped. She dies.
That feels crazy. Did she sleep upstairs or downstairs? I have only more questions.
Yeah, I think it was an upstairs situation, but I don't know.
Doesn't seem crazy to y'all?
I mean,
are you implying that this is an assassination?
I'm not implying anything. I'm truly just giving you all information, and the quiet that you guys are putting out makes me feel like that's what you're implying.
It feels like foul play, yes.
That this is not just a person who mismanaged their space heater.
First of all, we've all mismanaged a space heater. That's not even up for
I do that on a daily basis.
Come on.
Okay.
Put the blanket over it, whatever you got to do. We've all.
I'd like to encourage you both to stop that, but yeah, I hear you.
Oh, you've never done?
No, I'm just telling you, you don't have to do it. You don't have to keep doing it. If we all know we're mismanaging, let's be.
I mean, I don't have a space heater now. I got Central, baby. My shit.
I just like having my space heater on. I like the sound of it, and I like the warmth of it.
They're very comforting, especially if they got the red bat, like it glows red, so you know it's hot.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Well, those are like, your house is going to catch on fire.
Those are the ones that kill people.
Yeah.
Safer.
Still standing, baby. 36 years, 10 toes down.
You mean that open, easy bake oven? Yeah, I think that's going to kill somebody.
Easy bake oven. Yeah, that's just a random That's a random way to die, though. That's like This Is Us, where the dad dies from a crock pot.
Mm-hmm. It is a very random way to die.
Small appliances killing people. I never feel like, that's not it.
It never feels, it doesn't feel real.
Yeah.
An air fryer ain't never killed nobody.
I'd say added years to my life.
Yeah, I think the CDC would disagree. I think the FDA, I think the people in charge of our medicine probably don't agree with that. But yeah, I hear what you guys are saying.
I don't know, man.
You don't have an air fryer?
What was Whitney doing in 2002?
Not good. Is that Heartbreak Hotel era?
It might be. Yeah, I think that's around Yeah, that's where the short little Bob came in. And
yeah.
I think that was 90s.
Past knowing that she does drugs, and we're just like, I don't know, she does drugs. Who cares?
Yeah, when was Your Love Is My Love? Because that's a Whitney. I don't mind that Whitney.
That's the Whitney you love the most?
I think the Barbara Walters interview, or is that not Barbara Walters? What's the other white lady? Diane
Sawyer, yeah.
I think that's this interview.
That's the crack is cheap.
Crack
right?
is whack. Yep, that was crack is whack here.
Yeah.
So
that's the other thing that they point out is that Teresa Graves and John Huston actually die 6 months apart from each other. That like within
happened to my grandparents
of one person dying, the other person dies. And they also point to that being one of Whitney's sort of biggest public crumblings, right? That's when we see her fall apart the most, is around the death of what we thought was just John Huston, but the internet would argue is also Teresa Graves in her mourning her biological mother.
You think Whitney knew?
That's what some of the internet says.
Okay. And were any of this stuff you watched, was this like all speculation videos, or did you see any like interviews?
No. This is all speculation. There's almost
gossip.
Zero footage of Teresa Graves in conversation.
It's like a faceless YouTube, just a voice.
Yeah. And then occasionally, like, they'll keep like trying to show pictures of her and they'll be like, she was so beautiful. She wore her hair this way, but they only have footage from like 3 different shows that were like all right next to each other. And it's like, the bitch didn't wear her hair like that. You just only have 6 pictures.
That's all you have.
Right,
yeah, she probably changed her hair up every week, but y'all only got these 6 pictures. So I don't know.
Damn. Well,
here's what the last little feeling that I'll throw you all's way, because this was the feeling I had when I read all of this, is that I don't necessarily know that I believe that Teresa Graves is Whitney Houston's biological mother. I'm not sold, but I'm not unsold. I don't know. But more important, I do think that there is something very unspoken and almost sinister in the way that religion, specifically turning into a Jehovah's Witness, tends to take our stars the fuck out. That like Prince, this lady, even Michael Jackson to some extent, their relationship with being Jehovah's Witnesses really ends in a bad way for a lot of celebrities. And I'm not sure what the fuck that is.
I mean, you stop celebrating your birthday, you lose your true north. You know what I mean?
Honestly, birthdays are like fun.
They're great.
Yeah, and the fact that the Jacksons were raised Jehovah's Witness from day one is just like,
yeah, there's something pretty toxic in whatever's happening over there, and I recognize that. And
religion already is pretty bad. Yeah, Christianity is already Catholicism. That word beat my ass a little bit. Catholicism is already.
No, you fought back though.
Yeah, you got it.
Yeah,
you got your look back.
Shook a little bit.
Niggas ain't gonna say you got your ass beat. They'll be like, "Nah, it was a fair fight. It was a fair fight."
No, she didn't get her ass, but you know. But yeah, religion plays a big part in a lot of Black people as a whole are just in a chokehold like this with religion.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why you gotta respect Langston's take.
Come on home, y'all. Come on home. You so worried about temperature, you ain't even being your free self. Come on.
We are a tropical people.
Being musty gives me a headache. I get a headache when I'm musty.
Here's the thing about hell, all the tussie you want.
All the tussie you could ask.
They're not going to have no reprieve in hell. You just going to be just musty. Like,
now you don't get to put the tussie on like regular. You got to eat it, but you can have it. You can have as much tussie as you want.
Does it start coming through your pores at some point?
Of course, it's hell. It's whatever the worst thing you could imagine is. But it's funny down there. Y'all ain't gonna be cracking jokes where you.
That's the thing. Heaven does not seem fun or funny.
I'm gonna be in heaven with Teresa Reyes.
You will, and it's gonna be a dry ass conversation, but you'll be with her,
and I will get my confirmation.
Even when they talk about it in the Bible, it's like, I do not want to sing about how great God is for 1,000 years. Mm-mm. That doesn't sound fun. I didn't want to do it for an hour on Sundays down here.
If they do like the contemporary gospel, I can sing that. Like if we got some like Tasha Cobbs up there and it's lit. Like what genre are we going to be singing in? Because like that's what the Bible was doing then. Like that's what heaven was like 1,000 years ago. I think heaven got a little bass and like a little trap gospel now.
It doesn't matter. Sooner or later, I'm going to want to sing about shaking ass. It's just how it's going to happen.
I think your heaven also can like be your personal heaven. Like maybe my personal heaven has American Deli. And that's what I'll have.
I don't want to go into too many details, but my personal heaven definitely has some hell-like qualities.
Yeah. That's the problem, right?
That's the issue.
Is that your personal heaven's going to have some details that God's like, hey, man, you got to chill.
Can I have holes in heaven?
Yeah, he's like,
coochie in heaven.
He's like, look, we can't have a strip club up here.
My guy, did you just say pussy coasters?
Whoa.
And you think you're going to have it in hell?
I think it exists in hell. I don't think you get to have it. But I think
you just sitting there, burning up, musting it up, sweating. Your hair can't last. You have no haircut in hell. There's just
mouth tastes
nothing
like
great. Your balls fucking stink. It's just not great.
I will say your hairline's fucked up in hell for sure.
Oh, that's fucked. I don't like that.
That would be hard.
I don't like that you said.
Like you get like a rainbow fade in hell. You know?
So I keep the hair. It just is like a fucked up version.
Like the Black Power Ranger, his shit. You remember that? Like that.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, they lined him up with a fucking ladle.
That's the thing is he's continued to get that same haircut his whole life, and I think he was just cursed with like
maybe that's just how his hair grows. Yeah,
that's what I mean. I think he just never had a chance.
Then get some fucking Beijing. They got it.
It's just how his head is. So maybe the straight ain't gonna look right on him.
I think, bro, we're not considering how like specific a human being that was. This is a nigga that break dances and does karate. He is
I think that Venn diagram is way, way, way more circles than you think.
I don't know. I think he was like a one-of-one ass dude, and I think that hairline reflected it.
All right. Agree to disagree. Listen,
and maybe like all the flips has kind of made his hairline shift. That's just gravity.
I want all our fans, all the little mamas out there, if you do karate and breakdancing, please send us an email.
And let's be clear about this, because I don't want this to just be, oh, I've done both. No, motherfucker. We're talking about you are top tier in both categories.
Yeah.
You need to truly be able to throw a video where you do that body roll and then a fucking high kick the same way Zach did.
Yeah.
And it better look good.
I'm not even saying body roll. I want to see a windmill.
Okay.
It doesn't have to be good, but like a Jada Kiss level. Remember when Jada did the windmill?
It got to be better than Jada.
No,
you're being crazy.
You're
being crazy.
That's a difficult move. That's a difficult move. You don't get to just be like that. That's a difficult move.
You're being wild. Jada Kiss looked so tired when he was doing his. No way.
Can you do a windmill?
Hell no.
Exactly. Jada, and he learned that in the 80s.
He had to have.
Don't.
He's never looked older in his life than when he was doing weird breakdancing.
Listen, we got to wrap it up because I don't want to besmirch the great name of Jada Kiss.
I think we did it. It sounds like we all...
He's very much besmirched already.
I think Jada's back, baby. He runs a business with his daddy. He's doing good.
You could raise kids off of those bars. So much stuff I learned from Jada Kiss.
Yeah. Mel, could you tell the people where they can find you? What cool shit you have going on?
Yes, I am at It's Mel Mitch on Instagram. I am the baddest Mitch on Twitter and TikTok and basically everything else. Yeah, I'm trying to think what I have coming up. Just look out, just hopefully you'll see my name in lights like Taina in 2024 and leading role opposite of, I don't know, I'm manifesting kissing somebody in the mouth on screen. I want to be on TV.
Okay.
And then I want us to have so much chemistry that people speculate that we're dating in real life. So
Whoa.
That's my goal for 2024. Look out for whoever that is. I don't know. I'm just going to put it in the atmosphere that that's my 2024 thing that I do. So look out for whatever rom-com that is.
You want to kiss so sloppy that people are like, man, they gotta be fucking.
They fucking real. That's what I want. That is my
gotta
goal.
Be.
Yeah.
Damn. Well, we at the podcast are rooting for you. We believe in you. That sounds like a beautiful thing to manifest.
You've kissed on screen, right, Langston?
I have kissed on screen. Yeah.
I only ever been on cartoons. I never kissed on a live action TV show.
It ain't.
Is that awkward? How does that?
Yeah,
how is
it's
lunch?
not fun.
Yeah.
I don't like it at all, frankly.
When do they time it out in the day? Is it like first scene or is it like end of the day?
It kind of depends who you're kissing. If you're kissing like the star, it's whenever the fuck they fit you in. Like if you ain't the main person, it's whatever their day is looking like. If it's like a guest star that you get to kiss or have to kiss, they'll usually squeeze that at the end of the day and send a bunch of people home so that it's less awkward on set, less weird, whatever the fuck. Okay.
Damn, I never even thought about that.
Yeah, they don't give a fuck about you unless you're the main.
I don't think I never played a character on TV that had a kiss.
You need to be manifesting like me.
I'm saying, I'm always just like, funny lawyer, come and say something.
Wouldn't nobody kiss this nigga?
Yeah, who's this goofball?
Who you think kiss him? Nobody.
Nobody's kissing a weed-smoking best friend.
See, you need to get some kissing parts, friend.
I guess so.
That's Hollywood right there.
Strikes over,
2024, get Mel, get Bori kissed. That's the campaign we're starting here. Bori, you want to tell the people where they can find you?
Yeah, you can. Cool Guy Jokes 87 on Instagram. I'm going to be at Hilarities in Cleveland, January 12th and 13th in the big room. That'll be fun. The weekend after that, I'm going to be at Comedy Bar Seattle, headlining. And then I got some more dates that I don't know because I don't have them yet.
Hell yeah. And you can follow me at Langston Kerman. And I ain't got no dates coming up right now. I'm chilling. I don't know. But follow me. And also, if you want to buy merch, we have merch now. You can get that all at mymammatoldme.merchcentral.com. Is that? Yeah, mymammatoldme.merchcentral.com. Buy that shit. Why not? Be dripping in our shit. And as always, if you want to send us your own drops, your own conspiracies, if you want to accuse someone of also being a different daddy for Whitney Houston than her current daddy, send it all to mymammapod@gmail.com.
That's called motherfucking bars, nigga. You know nothing about that.
I'm sorry. I just wanted to support you. You asked when I became your biggest detractor, and I took it personally. So now I'm
okay. Well, thank you so much. Yeah,
it really got in my head when you said that. I didn't like
it. And like, subscribe, do all the things you're supposed to do to a podcast. It means the world to us. That's the whole thing. Bye, bitch.
Bye.